My name is Alex. I'm also known as Methuselah. This is the first video I've made in quite a long time. I've been focusing very exclusively on my own development, my own progress. And I feel this is going really well. I guess this video is more of an introduction to what we're becoming. I'll mention some of the things that I'd like to be displaying and instructing and teaching. So, I lived on Earth a little over 22,000 years ago. This is my first physical life that I'm talking about now. And I was very lucky with the parents I got. My parents were some of the most loving people on the planet at the time. They were very humble and very knowledgeable and wise, knowledgeable about all these different personal development techniques. And Methuselah is mentioned in the Old Testament as the person who lived the list of people who lived a really long life. He's listed as I'm listed as the one who lived the longest, and that's actually not true. My soulmate Edna lived longer than me by 3 years. And that sort of lifespan was achieved through all these different practices like energy conservation, very similar to what is practiced still on the earth today as Taoism, within Taoism as Taoist esoteric practices. But also humility, sort of feeling your own emotions, your own emotional content within the soul, sort of. And probably the biggest mission that I felt I had in life, I was trying to complete myself, trying to become perfected in the sense of having no damage within my soul. And when I died, I felt I was getting quite close to this, and I was tortured to death quite badly. And I felt like I was missing out on my chance, that I was getting so close to achieving my goal. And that's actually not true. I had quite a long way to go still. I passed into the fourth sphere. One of the things I learnt in that lifetime, quite early on in that lifetime, was that I could ask God, I could long to God for truth about all sorts of things, but in particular ways to develop my body, which I was obsessed with, which I did every single day. And I would learn from God these different movements and techniques, ways of exercising, you could say, that would develop not just the physical body, but the spirit body and soul to a degree as well. And that's one of the things that I'd like to teach, hopefully sooner rather than later, in this existence as Alex, in this physical existence. And it's a little hard to talk about, sort of having two different physical existences. It's all one lifespan, living on Earth long ago in ancient history, then in the spirit world, and then just recently coming back in this body on Earth once again. But physical movement, so advanced exercises that not only develop the body, but spiritual capabilities like flexibility of the soul, the capability to make leaps of understanding and take actions that you weren't really capable of seeing from your mind the moment before you took that action. But yeah, flexibility of the soul, that's one example of the sorts of things you can develop with these exercises that I'll be teaching. And I'm an encyclopedia of them, and I'm just sort of reacquiring them in terms of conscious knowledge, and that's a kind of gradual process, but I expect that will accelerate over time. So that's one thing, that's one of the main things that I'd like to teach, sort of how to develop the soul, how to not just develop the soul, but how to, yeah. Within my own personal development recently, I've been utilizing these finger weaving postures that I guess in Japanese they're known as Kuji Kiri, and they're often sort of spoken about as coming from Tibet originally, from as being part of the Sanskrit sort of body of knowledge from that region. But and I guess they're practiced quite a lot in Tibet, so that's still to this day. But this is something that I used 22,000 years ago as Methuselah. And there are hundreds of these. Kuji Kiri means 9 cuts, and there's 9 that are practiced within Ninjitsu generally. And they're 9 that are selected that are particularly beautiful for sort of balanced development, and they can develop these different aspects or parts of the body and soul. But there are hundreds of these different postures. So, for example, we have this is harmony with your soulmate. Looks like that. And what you basically do is you hold the position for an extended period of time, and different things go on spiritually that facilitate the release of emotions that are hindering whatever that particular posture is developing within you, but it also directly develops that trait as well. And it's very interesting having sort of the spiritual awareness to observe some of the stuff that goes on, the different movements of your hands, like your physical hands are in the posture, and they might make slight movements, but your spirit body's hands can do quite dramatic things as part of the process of growth and development. There's also, this is one that I wanted to display. And it goes like this. It's show me my greatest gift, the greatest gift that my soul has within it, and show me that and help me develop it. So what you would do is hold the posture with sort of a bit of a meditative state for sometimes an extended period of time, 20 minutes, half an hour. And within that time, I find I work through several, maybe 5 hindering emotions. And these are things, they're often quite childlike, little feelings and things that you've absorbed over the years. And that's one I'd suggest people experiment with. Yeah, so that's another thing I'd like to teach. I'd like to have videos that include series that are focused on specific things, like, for example, Divine Truth Basics. This set of postures, finger weaving postures, develops the basics of divine truth practice as taught by Jesus or A.J. Miller. And his material is absolutely brilliant. I'd highly recommend it. You can Google him or go to divinetruth.com. So you could have postures to do with healing a soulmate relationship, healing or finding and developing and living within your true desire, all that sort of stuff. And I'll also have a series on the I guess you could call it the Toltec body of knowledge, but I don't like that label. The stuff that Carlos Castaneda revealed to the world through his wonderful books that he learned from the shaman Don Juan. It's one of the, by far, the most advanced spiritual systems that is available on Earth and that is still practiced on Earth, but it's quite inaccessible to most people, even if you've read Castaneda's books. And they're wonderful books, but they miss things and they skip over things, and it's quite hard to sort of work out the true practice. But I'd highly recommend his book Magical Bahasas, which is the physical movements that are the absolute foundation of that system of development. And there are DVDs. I think they come out through Green. I can't remember what the group is that put them out, but Tensegrity or Magical Bahasas, search Castaneda. There are DVDs available through Amazon, I'm not sure. And they're great. But you might have a posture for internal silence, a posture for I can't remember, but I'll have a set focusing on the various things like dreaming or internal silence or changing levels of awareness, that sort of stuff. And that's something that even the practitioners who are alive on Earth today and throughout that entire lineage have never had. They've never had the finger weaving postures that develop these things quite easily. Don Juan, who is a spirit now, is reminding me to mention that that's one group of people, the people of that lineage who practice all that stuff to do with manipulation of the assemblage point. That's one group of people who I have been assisting from the spirit world. That's one of the things that I spent time doing for thousands of years. So that's a wonderful little experiment of sort of what can these people on Earth achieve if we teach them these profound movements of that develop the body, the spirit body, and the soul, and the energy body. What can they achieve, and how can they grow and develop if we teach these people back thousands of years ago this set of movements? And it's a very successful experiment, but really it needs to expand so more people have access to the joys that is that system of development. And that system of development, all those practitioners can really benefit from some of the knowledge about humans' potential relationship with God and how to receive divine love and divine truth, because that really makes everything else so much easier and safer and less frightening, I guess. So there's a group of what you would call divine angels who have returned to Earth in their second physical existence, their second physical body. And A.J. Miller and Mary Luck are probably the most well known of these. And they come within a group of 14 people who are focused on teaching the divine love system, the divine truth of how to connect to God, how to develop your soul, and also various other things that they want to focus on and teach and develop and assist the world with. But myself and my soulmate are another very small group, and there have been others since then who are younger than us, and we have different focuses, different, and that has impacted on our development and progress and what we find easy and what we find hard. And what I find hard is memory of my existence compared to the 14 aging area. That's what I find hard. I find memory of my existence hard to reacquire, but I do find it easier than they do to release difficult emotion. I can do something quite easily. I can take this specific emotion, and I can release it within an hour or a minute, what might take someone else within that group a lot more time and a lot more anguish. I think I've said enough for this introductory video, and it's a massive learning process for me. I need to build a website. I need to acquire video editing skills. I need to finish my qualifications so I can teach movement. And there's all these things that I'm trying to do, and really I've been neglecting everything and just working on my own condition, just releasing my emotion, just praying, and improving my relationship with God and with my soulmate, who I don't see currently, but we've been getting closer and closer through our development, and that's been a very enjoyable process, even though I haven't seen her in years, which is interesting, but I think that's enough for now. Thank you.